Hello, I'm Kayleigh Hutchins, editor of Data Interview, and today I'm joined by Evan Barker, manager of facility engineering at Digital Realty, and John Byrne, managing director at Enel X, for this quickfire interview about their DS3 Dynamic Frequency Project in Ireland, which has recently won the Data Center Power Project of the Year and Sustainable Project of the Year at the recent ER and DCR Excellence Awards. Thanks so much for joining me today, John and Evan.
Thanks, Katie.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to you both, if you don't mind, to do a brief introduction of yourselves and Enel X and Digital Realty. So, Evan, over to you.
Thanks, Kayleigh. So, hi, my name is Evan Barker, and I am a manager of facility engineering at Digital Realty Ireland. And I'm delighted to talk to you today about this project. So, Digital Realty are a global data center provider with over 300 facilities, with 50 metros accessing 25 countries on 6 continents. Our co-location facilities provide a safe, sustainable, cost-effective and scalable home for your IT infrastructure. Our worldwide customers range from cloud and information technology services, communication and social networking, to financial services, manufacturing, energy, healthcare and consumer products.
Thanks, Evan. And John?
Thank you, Kayleigh. So my name is John Byrne and I'm the managing director at Enel X. Enel X is the Sustainable Innovation Division of the Enel Group, a global energy company with a rich history spanning over 60 years. Enel X enables commercial and industrial scale energy users to optimize their energy consumption and contribute to a cleaner, smarter and more resilient energy grid. We help data centers and other large energy users to leverage their scale in ways to help the grid use more renewable energy.
Thank you. So let's sort of go right back to the beginning. How did this initiative come about in the first place? John, if I go to you first.
Yeah, so Ireland's Climate Action Plan has a target of 80% of the country's electricity to come from renewable sources by 2030. However, the intensity of the wind and sun in Ireland obviously fluctuates constantly. Yeah. This results in variable levels of electricity generation, which grid operators don't like. They can only have the precise amount of energy that users demand on the grid at any one time, no more or no less. Mm-hmm. Our grid, the electricity transmission operator, or TSO in Ireland and the North, designed the DS3 Frequency Response Programme with the specific aim of creating the right conditions to safely and securely add more renewable energy to the Irish power system without having to rely on traditional power stations for backup. Mm-hmm. DS3 works by balancing the frequency on the grid as it fluctuates to responses in variations in the quantity of renewable energy generation. If the frequency on the grid can be maintained at 50 hertz, more carbon-free electrons from renewable generation can be added to the power transmission system, feeding businesses and homes around the country. This programme is key to Ireland hitting its 80% renewable targets by 2030.
Thank you. And over to you, Evan.
Yeah, thanks, Kayleigh. So, look, we developed this relationship with Enel X back in 2023 here in Ireland when we started discussing grid support initiatives. We were aware that our colleagues in Sydney successfully implemented a grid support programme with Enel X back in 2018. So sustainability is a key focus for us. We are leaders in the field. We have a dedicated global team constantly developing and delivering sustainable programs and initiatives. The DS3 program was one of the key projects for us in Ireland in 2023. This project shows that we want to and are working with the grid operators to find solutions to the grid limitations when it comes to adapting renewables, which will benefit all.
Fantastic. And then sort of just looking at it from a more technical point of view, can you give a bit more detail about the technical aspects of the DS3 program? John, if you're happy, I'll hand over to you first.
Yeah, absolutely. So Enel X's solution tracks millisecond by millisecond grid frequency variations, and during moments of grid instability, increases or decreases the battery output of the systems installed in Digital Realty that are to the required level. Obviously, this helping to restore the balance on the grid. Think of it like a dimmer switch that can be adjusted to meet the needs of the grid. So the more electricity you need, the dimmer switch goes up and vice versa. We worked with Evan and the team at Digital Realty to install hardware to both meter and send power requests to the UPS systems during times of grid disturbances. These devices have been designed and built to meet the requirements set out by the transmission operator. And following the installation, we've conducted grid compliance testing to ensure that everything works as expected. So we send a power request to the UPS system, the batteries respond appropriately.
Yeah, thank you. And Evan?
Yeah, as John mentioned there was a rigorous testing program completed, which validated the scope of the design in advance of us going live, as customer reliability is paramount importance to us and our customers.
Mm-hmm.
This innovative project allowed us to create a dual purpose for our existing UPS assets. In normal conditions, our UPS sit on standby in the event of a utility failure.
Mm-hmm.
While being 100% available to our customers, we have seen that these assets, through control technology, can also support the adaptation of renewables to the grid when we consider grid frequency support.
Thank you. And then sort of looking on a bigger scale, what are all the overall benefits of the programme, particularly with, in consideration of CO2 emissions? Evan, if I can go to you first.
Yeah. So providing this grid service is a way for Digital Realty to unlock additional value from their data centres. In doing so, we directly contribute to a greener, more sustainable and resilient electrical grid, while also providing the operational resilience upon which a data centre depends. The ability to use our batteries to provide these services lowers power sector carbon emissions. What's more, by integrating our UPS technology with grid services and consumers across Ireland, stand to save tens of millions of euros on fuel and other costs required to maintain the backup provided by traditional coal and natural gas fired plants. Typically, the addition of 1 megawatt of power to the Dynamic Frequency Program has the potential to save the grid approximately 4,000 tonnes of CO2 per annum. Initially, Digital Realty integrated 6 megawatts of UPS capacity into the program. When the remaining available capacity is included, it is expected to help the grid save more than 30,000 tonnes of CO2 annually, depending on customer load. According to a report by Byrne, if grid interactive UPS systems replace the grid services currently provided by fossil fuel power plants in Ireland and Northern Ireland, up to 2 million metric tonnes of carbon dioxide emissions could be avoided in 2025. That's the equivalent of about 1/5 of the total emissions expected across the island of Ireland from the power sector in 2025. Ultimately, our customers want to know that their data is being processed and stored in the most sustainable environment possible. As a matter of fact, sustainability has become one of the top discussion points for new customers visiting our facilities. And that's why Digital Realty continue to invest in and embrace sustainable programs such as the DS3 program.
Wonderful. And they're the sort of figures we're going to need to meet sort of net zero targets, aren't they? Okay, so if we just sort of end on the final question of looking ahead, what are the plans for both Digital Realty and Enel X? John, if I can start with you.
Sure. So as the proliferation of battery storage solutions increases exponentially, an infrastructure network is being created that can provide that much needed resilience that will allow businesses with ambitious green commitments like Digital Realty to achieve their goals without compromising operational resilience. Not compromising operational resilience is key. Electricity grids of the future depend on the relationship model between user, technology, and local regulations evolving. If this happens, there's a massive opportunity for businesses of all types and sizes to benefit from their energy storage assets in new ways that could add commercial value, resilience, and improved sustainability to their operations.
Thank you. And Evan?
Thanks, Kayleigh. Yeah, so for us, we're only getting started. We will continue to develop these programs, not just in Ireland, but across our global portfolio. As other countries transition to a greater reliance on renewable energy, they will encounter a similar situation to the one in Ireland. This innovative use of battery assets demonstrate how data centres can play a key role in supporting electricity grid stability as homes and businesses around the world make the transition to renewable energies. We will continue to develop our sustainability strategies through innovative partnerships and programs and initiatives.
Thank you so much. So thank you again, both Evan and John, for joining us today and sharing your insight with us. And thank you to Digital Realty and Enel X for sponsoring this In the Spotlight video. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time.